your nut slot.
You should shave your nut slot. That's no problem. Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's Ike from Flipside Music, and welcome to What the F.A.Q. Season 3, Episode 33.
Trace.
And I'm here, as always, with
Dylan.
And welcome, weekly question and answer show. You ask a question, we give you an answer. We are going to we only got like 3 questions today. We're going to kind of speed through it because
we're running late. And
we're a little short. And
yeah, short-staffed and running late. So
and that's it.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump right in with Professor Chaos, who asks, any new gear you guys are excited for to have in the shop or releasing in general? So a couple things, like looking forward to the HM2. It's coming in.
Yes. Yeah, the HM2 Waza, finally.
From the Waza.
The reissue of the Swedish chainsaw.
Yes. So we're looking forward to that. We do have some new pedal company brands that we're bringing in. So we're looking forward to that.
Alien.
Analog Alien.
Analog Alien, that was it.
It's going to be one. So we got some of their pedals coming in. Very cool. And then Chalks.
Yep.
Quakes. Chalks.
We've
come down to
Colin. Yep.
Yeah. What's that?
According to Colin, it was Colin, right? That corrected us on that one.
I don't know.
Chalks.
Power supplies. I know that they're not sexy, but these are sexy power supplies. So we're looking forward to those.
You've played enough pedals, the more practical stuff does become kind of sexy.
Actually, wow, buffered splitter.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, Chalks. We also have Hudson Electronics coming in. Right. So we're looking forward to that. And
the broadcast, for those of you that are familiar, obviously that one's a pretty popular one.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. I think that's it as far as like companies. We got another company we're talking to too. I don't want to say it until we actually figure out
confirm some
a
stuff.
deal with them.
Yeah, in terms of new pieces, we can sort of allude to it. Boss is working on another release within the SY series. Yeah, so there's one of those that I'm super excited about. Just because I feel like it's going to address some of the kind of lacking features that are on one of them. I think it's going to address it for not a lot more investment. So I think that'll be a pretty sweet one.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. I think also the new Squire's got some new paranormal.
Yeah, that's been a fun ongoing thing.
Stuff that's coming out, which we have on order, which is kind of looking forward to getting some of those pieces in. There's some really cool ones that I think are going to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Squire stuff's just been really good.
It's been really solid and it's been fun. Yeah, they've been doing a lot of fun releases with the paranormal stuff.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. And then the Player Plus series from Fender is coming out as well. We have some of those on order. So I'm kind of interested in just seeing what's the difference between, basically the $750 Player series to the, basically $1,000 Player Plus. Right. I know it's upgraded pickups and hardware and stuff like that. I know. So
yeah. Well, yeah. No, it's always fun to see how much those little details do actually make in terms of the difference.
Also, real quick, we're thinking about changing F.A.Q. from Saturdays to Tuesdays. There's a bigger picture with that, but we're probably going to be doing that maybe beginning of October.
Yes.
Just so you guys know, it's going to go from Saturday to Tuesday because I think we're able to do this easier, and then we're able to actually get the stuff out at the right time every week, and then we can also do live streams at that time too. So it's going to be probably on like a Tuesday night.
Right.
It's going to be cool. You'll see. All right.
Yes.
Moving on.
So Jeffrey Egan asks, I tuned my PRS to Open G, and it wasn't holding tune too well. He says, I use 10s, which should be enough for a 25-inch scale, shouldn't it? So I think he's thinking that the 10 should be holding enough tension to keep tune at Open G. Last time I played Open G, I think I was using 10s, and it was okay. I'm trying to remember what the last thing, I don't think I ever tried it with 9s. I think it was 10s. But I was intending to play slide, so I went heavier. Like, not heavier, but heavier than, because with 11s, I think Open G would be really...
Might be a little
too. Yeah, that'd be too much. Maybe.
Yeah, 10 should be fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would assume that should be. He says he also noticed one of the set screws in the back of the bridge had backed out, but didn't know if that would be affecting the tuning. And he was also
it would
saying
affect the intonation, if anything.
right. Yeah, because I was gonna say if the strings for whatever reason were not holding the bridge at the correct angle, even if it's just loose enough to come up a little bit, you're going to be changing the intonation and even the tuning just a little bit. I mean, it's not a lot, but as that comes up, it's gonna
small incremental shifts are going to change, but you're going to be looking more at intonation than actual tuning accuracy. Now, if you got a screw that's backing out, you might want to try like a little bit of plumber's tape.
Yes.
Depending on what screw it actually is. I mean, if it's for the...
right, that or, you might even go...
There's other options too, but that could work. Yeah,
just something to kind of keep it in there. I mean, I wouldn't put anything permanent in there. Just,
don't use like super glue or something.
Yeah, don't use like...
Don't do that shit.
Yeah, no epoxies, nothing permanent.
'Cause we've seen nonsense like that being done
We've seen
before.
some things.
We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Yeah. That's actually, we should do the guitar version.
We should do the guitar.
We actually have seen some.
Man, you'd be amazed. So within the charity that we support, we get a lot of donated guitars that come in. Basically, what we do is we go through them and we refurbish them, we fix them, and then we move them on and give them to kids in cancer centers or whoever kind of needs it, kind of deal. It's really cool. Check out the charity called Blue Star Connection. So Blue Star Connection. Anyway, we get some of these donated guitars that come in, and you'd be amazed.
The state they're in sometimes,
of the condition that they come in and what people have done as far as like how they've wrapped the strings or how they put strings on, or
it makes you wonder about all
really
the choices that person made in their entire life. Like when you see some of those, like you look at it and it's just like
we've seen strings tied together.
Right.
There's been, things that have been wired or wound backwards. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Now the thing is, I just look at it going, we all have phones now and internet. I mean, you can do a quick Google search on how to string an electric guitar, and get it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was kind of late.
Accurate lesson.
I was kind of late to playing, but that was what I did. I just instantly looked up how to change strings, and honestly, a lot of the old Stumac videos with the little tech guy that made. What was the name? What's the name of Albert King's Flying V?
Dan Earlywine?
Is that his name?
Mm-hmm. The old guy?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Dan Earlywine.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names. Anyway, he no
problem, Bob. It's cool.
Yeah. He had a great series for a while of like just different setup tips, and I ended up just following his little series for a stretch, and it was perfect. But yeah, in this day and age, I feel like with a phone and or a computer and or a computer at the library or something, you can find out how to change the strings. Yeah.
Most people have phones.
Right. Well, that or just find a store, and I'm sure
they could show you.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be willing to show you because we show people almost on a daily basis. So
yeah. All right. So we're getting off the track.
Yeah.
All right. So, but what does it say? Okay,
in terms of the wraparound, so the issue is obviously wraparound tailpiece that's losing tuning stability. Didn't really mention intonation, but definitely, like Ike said, check that. I would definitely get that set screw figured out first and start there.
Yes.
And then make sure, I was going to say your nut slots and tuners would be the next thing.
That would be the next thing, because you could have, you could be binding up in the nut.
Yep, a bound nut is not
a fun thing.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So what could be happening?
It's kind of like the underwear riding up into the legs kind of situation.
Right. You get all
bunched up. Yeah.
So it could be that the strings are getting caught up in the nut, and that's causing some tuning instability. So I would look at that. If you're not comfortable with making those adjustments, and messing around with the nut is kind of an important deal that could really screw things up. If you're not comfortable with that, bring it to a qualified tech at like a local place that's well known for doing good service work. Maybe if there is a good guy at a big box store, then bring it to that specific guy, but be careful who you bring it to, because
yes,
sometimes the big box stores don't necessarily have always the best the best guys.
Here's Johnny Newhire, and he's going to take care of you today.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the smaller shops, they got guys that have been doing it for 10, 20 years, and they can knock it out relatively easy. So that's where I'm going with that.
Yes. Yeah, I would start with those things, and I mean, I think if you address all of those, you should see a pretty stable guitar. And if it's not, then obviously you might have something else going on.
Right.
Yeah. Something more serious than a binding nut.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, last question, Mr. Coombs.
Ben Coombs, our preferred Canadian YouTuber.
Yes. Let's see. Question for next week is: do you prefer using a fuzz face into a Fender or a Marshall? Also, FYI, I prefer hot sauce included with my order versus stale candy.
Oh, I gotta get.
Yeah,
I didn't forget about the shirt. I gotta send him a Great American Guitar shirt.
Oh,
Great American
does he not
Guitar
have one?
Store shirt. That's us.
Has he collected? Has he collected all of them yet?
I don't know. It's gotta be close.
Yeah, yeah. He was sporting one the other day, and he did an Akai chorus demo. I think he was actually wearing this one. Yeah, the Rush one. Go figure.
The great one.
Yeah.
Great white north.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get that in the mail this week. Sorry, and I'll put a hot sauce in there for you there.
So
bud.
fuzz face and Defender or a Marshall. Totally. I think it totally depends on what you're doing with the Fender. Because I think a Fender, there's really no reason it can't be a pretty sweet combo. But getting a Fender to break up, I do feel like generally, at least in my experience previously, Marshalls do tend to break up earlier. Even the non-master volume ones still have like a lower threshold than it feels like some of the higher wattage Fenders do. Because the Fenders feel like they're fighting to stay clean, whereas the Marshall kind of is just like, go ahead. It's just like, it just gives up and goes for it. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Do you want a pure fuzz tone through a clean amp, or do you want a fuzz tone that's already into an overdriven?
Yeah, because to me the key to the fuzz face is the interaction of the fuzz with the amp, not so much just the fuzz itself. Because the fuzz, especially the fuzz face on a clean amp, it's okay, but like that sponginess you get when you hit like a fuzz face into a Marshall, it is a pretty sweet. I mean, it's just the signature, Hendrix thing that I think everybody's looking for.
And I was just gonna say that. I'm like, that's the thing that a lot of us have heard, and that's what we
I think everybody's eternally chasing that Hendrix, fuzz face into a Marshall tone.
Yeah, if I was to go with that, that's where I would go.
Well, yeah, because even Stevie Ray Vaughan, the only times he really used Marshalls were tended to be when he was whipping out the fuzz face to do the Hendrix stuff. So
Voodoo Child.
Yeah. So it's like, I think there's a reason that combo is so special. But there's really no reason, I mean, a bassman, if a bassman's really getting after it and starting to break up, it can do a pretty similar thing. Yeah. Or even honestly, like I love, fuzz face into like the Tweed, or the Blues Deluxe, but even like a Tweed Deluxe. Mm-hmm. If you can get it to break up, that's really
it's just going to be...
Yeah. It's a better experience.
Yeah, it's going to be loud. So I would go, if I had to pick, I would probably pick the Marshall.
Yes, me too.
Personally. Yeah. That's where I would go.
Yeah, same here.
So...
Yeah, it was a good question. I always liked that combo because that's one too. Like even the Big Muff and the High Watt, that's the other like combo that I feel like a lot of people. The Big Muff doesn't do exactly the same thing on a Fender. Like it's just not quite the same mix.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta combo some shit.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes the sum of the two is better than one or the other.
Right. I agree. All right.
Yeah.
Let's call that a day. All right, that's going to be all that we have for today, and we'll talk to you guys some other time, and we'll catch you on the flip side.